After 15 million users took part in his online poll, Elon Musk has decided to allow Donald Trump back onto Twitter. But after a weekend of reportedly locking employees out of their office buildings and a raft of resignations, what is the current state of play with the social media giant? Well, here to shed some light on it all is digital marketing and tech expert Dan Sodergren. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
So what is the state of play with Twitter? You hear a whole variety of forecasts from, everything's going to be fine to it's about to die. Is it in real trouble?
Well, it's a brilliant soap story at the moment. It really is a drama of emotions, and it's lots of different, like a roller coaster ride on Twitter. Lots of people are saying they're leaving Twitter, of course, are staying on to see what happens. And if you look at some of the hashtags, which Twitter, of course, is famous for, lots of the things like Twitter down and Twitter dies and Twitter RIP. So a lot of people on there are believing this is the end of Twitter. And of course, this is because Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, took over and then did a raft of changes that it's almost like a playbook of what you shouldn't do as a boss of a tech company, including getting rid of a tremendous number of people, firing the board, installing himself as almost a mock dictator, and then doing some very, very odd stuff, including, I don't know if you've seen the latest Elon Musk tweet, but if you have, I mean, it's not sorry, not safe for work, so I don't really have. It's pretty tasteless, really. But of course, he's talking about getting Donald Trump back on board, and seems to be the irony, of course, for him, of course, is that Donald Trump hasn't yet tweeted. However, Donald Trump has been reinstated. Odd use of the word on that poll, reinstated. But Donald Trump has now been reinstated. Of course, he was kind of asked to leave Twitter or thrown off Twitter because of he was potentially inciting hatred or kind of violence with the mob that happened. And that's a real thing that happened in America. Let's not kid ourselves. There were real reasons why the former president was removed from the platform. So. Yeah. Trump is yet. I'm not a massive Trump fan, but Trump is yet to tweet. So it's quite interesting that that's happened.
Yeah, you kind of get the impression he won't be able to resist it for long, though, given what we know of Donald Trump, don't you? I mean, it's a reminder of this, though, isn't it? I mean, we all get very indignant because we think, oh, Twitter's it's ours, it's a shared space, and all the rest of it. It's free, it's all that. It's not, though, is it? It's a business, and Elon Musk owns that business. Has he made a massively poor set of business decisions here? He's made successes out of virtually everything else he's touched. Does he know what he's doing, do you think?
Well, I think there's two brilliant points you said there. I mean, the richest man in the world has had several very, very successful businesses, hence he's become the richest man in the world. So to then, accuse Elon Musk of not knowing what he's doing with businesses might be a bit odd. He might not, however, know what he's doing with social media companies because he's never owned one of those. So we can't also say because you can own rocket ships, because you can own, all these different technical companies and Tesla, etc., you therefore must be a genius at everything. That might be a bit much. A lot of his fans do believe that. The way he's run the company seems to be to get rid of a tremendous number of people, and people are now thinking, will Twitter still be able to survive on such a skeleton staff? And again, if you're on Twitter and things, I was definitely, I've got friends in cybersecurity that are saying, be wary of using the same passwords on Twitter that you're using on other things, because we're not 100% sure how safe Twitter is going to be. So is he a genius? I think only time will tell. He's certainly saved the company a tremendous amount of money by getting rid of something like 90% of the employees. But also he's got rid of quite a few of the advertisers who no longer want to advertise there. But your point that we believe that Twitter is ours because of free, it's free. Of course, if you're not buying a product online, you are the product. So Twitter only works because it sells advertising and other things and mines our data, etc. So Twitter won't work if we all leave, but we certainly don't own it. The richest man in the world owns it, and I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That line about use a different password for Twitter from everything than for everything else, because they're down to a skeleton staff. For that advice and everything else, Dan Sodergren, thank you very much indeed.